Hello and welcome to Bay Path University. This is going to be an introductory video to show you a little bit about attending the one-day-a-week college or the American Women's College online. So we're going to give you a little presentation and a little taste of what is to come. So thanks for joining us, and let's get started on the journey.
So welcome everybody. My name is Shirley Montavani. I'm an educator coach here with Bay Path, and just to put some faces to the names, we have Diane Reinhardt, who's our online support administrator, and myself, who are going to guide you through this presentation.
Yeah, we're going to be moderating the presentation and just showing you a few other folks that we work with who will be part of your educational journey as well. So you'll see names, and actually you can click on these email addresses, or you also have the phone numbers if you want to contact them down the road.
Yep, so this is just a list of people, whether it's going to be your educator coach or the director of the campus, and then also here's some of the people who are the program directors of your specific major. And you can contact them. Again, you're going to have this, and anytime you need it, you just let us know. Some of our admissions team. And then we also have two satellite campuses. So there's one in Burlington, Mass, and that's referred to as our EMC campus, and these are some of the staff. And then our Sturbridge campus, which is referred to as CMC, and this is the staff and how to contact them. So a few things we're going to go over, this just kind of recaps what we're going to do, is we're going to go over the important policies that you need to know. We'll just get that out of the way, but it is stuff that's important for you to know. The difference in what a semester and a session is, things to do to get ready for your class, things to know about when you're taking on-ground classes, and things to know about online, proven skills to master, what if you need help, how to be successful, honoring yourself and each other, and a kind of a next step checklist. So right away, we'll get into the policies. One of the most important ones is our attendance policy. So again, there's a link here that you can click on and read this at your leisure, but the main takeaway is that if you're taking a on-campus class, you cannot miss that first day, or else you'll be administratively withdrawn from the class. And I'll let Diane speak to the online portion, but again, the main takeaway is that you cannot miss the first day.
Yeah, so the online aspect is a little different because as you're going to start hearing, you're going to be invited into these classrooms actually as much as 2 weeks before the actual class session starts. And in conjunction with this, you're also going to have a pre-class assignment, which is actually due on the first day of class. Now for our online students, that's actually on a Thursday, where our on-ground students attend on Saturday. So in theory, our online students will have to have participated in their class by the Thursday of classes starting. So we will actually be showing you a schedule showing you the days. Now it doesn't mean you have to participate on that day, whereas our on-ground students have to be in class. Our online students have to participate on that day or prior. So we'll go into that a little bit more down the road.
So life happens, you might have to hand in something late. So this is our late assignment policy. Anything late will be a 10% reduction. And then anything beyond that, you just have to work with the instructor. And again, I can't encourage you more to reach out to your instructors. They're more than willing to work with you and be flexible. But this is a policy that was put in place. So you may be wondering what happens if I miss a class after the first class. So the active engagement policy was designed to address this. So this could happen, again, life happens, or something might come up, or you might be sick. There is a 30% grade each week that will be applied to your active engagement. So if you have to miss a day after the first day, that's how it's graded.
And then I'm going to speak a little bit quickly to the online aspect of this, because we don't monitor your participation exactly in the same way if you're in class versus if you're participating online. But when you're in an online class, much of your active engagement is through your discussions. So in that sense, you're going to have discussions that you need to post and reply to your classmates in, and that is how the 30% is assessed in the online version of our classes.
And if you have, before I move on to this, if you have any questions, again, we're always here for you. So you can talk to your advisor or contact your admissions person and find out who you could speak to about it. So another policy, it is very lengthy. The next two slides will be very in-depth, but we have a satisfactory academic progress policy. And basically, and then there's some federal guidelines. So the main takeaways are on the next slide. So you always want to check your BayPath email. There are dates that we have to maintain and certain deadlines, and you want to avoid having to withdraw from a class or failing a class, because this can end up on your transcript, factored into your GPA, and all of this will be communicated to you and reminded to you through your email, and you can also find this information on the portal. Another thing to consider and always communicate with your advisor is if you feel like 2 classes every 6 weeks may be too much, even if it's just for one session, depending on what life is throwing at you at that moment, just talk with your advisor about it and we can adjust that. Always, always, always communicate with your instructors and utilize the free tutoring services. This can be utilized on campus or remotely, so definitely take advantage of the resources. Anything that happens, nothing is too little or too big. Always communicate with your advisor, and we're here to figure out a solution. And just something to keep in the back of your mind is that, and this is a federal guideline and a law, is if you accumulate too many W's or F's and you're not able to comply with a satisfactory academic policy, it will ultimately result in dismissal from the university and possibly ineligibility for financial aid. So not to scare you, but just to make you aware.
Oh boy, that was a downer. Welcome to BayPath University. All right, the good thing is we're done with all of that. So now we just want to explain a little bit, because our schedule is a little different than many of the traditional academic calendars. So Shirley, if you could explain a little bit of what I like to call terminology here at BayPath.
Sure. So you may have discussed this at the admissions process, but we are set up in 2 semesters, which is fall and spring. And within those 2 semesters are 3 6-week sessions. And as you can see, and you'll be receiving this, actually, nice color copy of this calendar, everything's broken down per semester and into sessions. And here are some important dates that you'll see. But again, we have 2 semesters, fall and spring, and then 3 6-week sessions within those semesters.
Yeah, and this is a great planning guide because, as you can see, it goes actually out till 2019, so that's wonderful. It also lets you know when your days off are during the sessions. So also really important for planning, because you know when a session's starting, you know when it's ending, you know when you have days off, because if you know you have life events in this period of time, maybe you do explore an online option in that particular time, because you know you won't be able to be there on the day of a start of a traditional session. So always something to think about. So we share this with you just so you can kind of plan your life around it a little bit.
So what can you do now? You want to practice on the portal in Canvas, which you've probably started receiving emails from Diane at this point. And if not, let us know. Access your syllabus. This is going to be your key to be successful in the class. It's going to tell you where to get your books and what book you'll need, what the assignments are going to look like, your instructor, so you can access that now. Order your books. And again, you can find that either by calling the bookstore or looking at your syllabus. You can start your pre-class assignment. If you're taking an on-campus class, it will be due that first Saturday online, no later than that first Thursday. But you can start them now and hand them in for online even now. And then a couple other things. Just get mentally prepared. Many of you maybe have not been back to school in many years. Just make sure you have that support network around you. Renegotiate social contracts. So if you have a Saturday morning 7:15 a.m. class, maybe tell your friends you're going to go out Saturday instead of Friday. And just make sure you have a computer and a printer that you can access easily. And don't forget that there are resources here on campus. Even if you're online, you can come to the campus, and any kind of local library or school around you, usually you can use them. When do classes begin? So here's the different campuses. Longmeadow is morning, then there's lunch, and there's an afternoon. Same thing with Sturbridge and Burlington. A couple things to keep in mind. Just get there early. You don't want to be rushing around the parking lots, especially in Longmeadow. Get a good night's sleep. Review the materials, just keeping in mind that it's accelerated, so you want to be prepared. But at the same time, relax and enjoy yourself. We want this to be an enjoyable experience for you.
And you're going to find that as soon as you start with the classes, even in an online environment and the on-ground environment, you're going to find that you're going to see the same students, you're going to talk to the same people in your classes, and you're going to start to bond together through the shared experience that you're going through. So the online, once again, we talk about when do classes begin. If you remember back to that schedule, it does start 2 days before, so things are always due on Thursdays. So always plan your schedules, do your readings in advance. The first assignment, which is generally a discussion, is due on Thursday. That's generally an initial post to a response. So you've read some part of a chapter, you've examined some PowerPoint videos or something of that nature, and they say, please post your personal opinion and your professional opinion on fill in the blank. So you do that on Thursday. Then you're going to have to reply to your classmates by Saturday, and you're going to have another assignment. It could be a quiz, it could be a paper, it could be a PowerPoint, but the great thing is you can always do them ahead. So for me, maybe it's convenient to do it after work. For you, perhaps it's better to do it after the kids have gone to school. So the great thing with online is you can fit the classes and the work in on the time frame that works best for you.
So some proven skills to master. Time management is definitely probably the number one thing, and you'll figure that out once you get going and talk to your classmates, whether it's online or in the classrooms. But a couple things to keep in mind: you're not going to want to wait till the day before to begin those weekly assignments, especially if you're taking 2 classes. Maybe consider splitting up the week to concentrate on one and the first half of the week and the other half of the week on the other. Delegate. Don't think that you have to be Superwoman. Ask for help and ask if they offer it to you, take it. And be flexible. Be willing to accept less than perfection. I'm sure you're all going to do really great and get A's and B's, but if something's happening and life is just kind of crazy, do the best you can and you'll do fine. What if I need help? There are so many resources here. I cannot stress that enough. So always reach out to your advisor and be checking your email, because we're constantly giving you these resources, and you actually will be getting a copy of the tutoring resources as well at some point during orientation. And the tutoring is free with all subjects: writing and research, Microsoft Office, Canvas, anything you can think of, you reach out and there is help for that. It's available on campus or online. You can work with them via phone and email if that doesn't work for you to come in person. And your classmates, don't forget, we're supporting each other, women helping women. And this is a link to the tutoring information. So again, this is a live link that you can click on. And don't be afraid to ask for that help. Right away, we're going to be checking in with you those first couple weeks. So if something's happening, reach out to us, reach out to the instructors, and we can figure out a plan for you. To be successful on Saturday or online, again, it's accelerated, so you really don't want to be missing a class or a posting or handing in an assignment, because you can get behind quicker than most. Make the time. It may seem like you're not sure how it's going to work, but you can do this. And again, just talk to your other classmates about how they're doing it and being successful. Participate. It can be very rewarding to get involved in these conversations, whether online or in class. So be participating in those discussions. Get the help if you need it. Use your advisor or your educator coach. It's the same thing, but we have 2 titles. You're never bothering us. I can't stress that enough. We always want to know when you need anything, or if you want to share a positive experience. Know all the policies, which we reviewed, but you want to be familiar. And in class, it's not going to be a 5-hour lecture. It's going to be a mixture of things. So you're not going to have to sit there for 5 hours and listen to somebody lecture. So it'll be a mixture of things, and it'll be, homework review, discussions, presentations, and things like that. So it won't be that boring, long 5 hours.
And the great thing is, we talk about the activities in class. Well, if you think about it in an online environment, when you come into the Canvas learning management system, that's your online classroom. And guess what? You're going to do the same things that's listed here. Homework review, discussion, videos, presentations, test. Yep. You're just going to do them in a little bit of a different way. You won't be sitting necessarily there in a classroom. You're going to be sitting perhaps on your sofa or at the office. And that's the great thing. You can actually do these things asynchronously. You don't have to be in class for 5 hours, as Shirley mentions. You could actually come on at 9 o'clock and do a little bit. Come on the next morning at 9 in the morning, do a little bit. That's the great thing. So you actually still do the same things. It's delivered in a little bit of a different way, but you're still essentially doing the same types of activities in the online environment as well.
So another policy is our academic integrity policy, which is basically addressing plagiarism. So you want to honor yourself and each other. It can be tempting. There's a lot of things out there on the internet with resources, but you want to be true to yourself and make good decisions. And the technology, while there's a lot of resources out there to plagiarize, we also have a lot of resources as well to detect that. And we have a lot of resources as well to ensure that you are aware of what plagiarism is, and to how to avoid it.
Yeah, because plagiarism could be accidental very easily, that you don't realize that you're actually taking someone else's work. We're not implying that you are, we're just saying things are very specific, and if you are taking the work of someone else, you can't put it off as yours, but you can certainly give proper attribution to the work of someone else, and that's something that you'll learn about in both your English classes, but it certainly doesn't hurt to learn about it a little bit now. And you're enrolled in a course called EXT 097. It's the ITEL course, Introduction to Technology Enhanced Learning, and there's a resource in there called the Purdue OWL, which will help you immensely with just understanding how you properly cite the sources, from everything from a newspaper, an online source, a book, everything. Because you're certainly going to use someone else's material, you just need to give them credit for it. That's all.
So what can you do next? So right now, just make sure everything for financial aid is completed. You can always check with them to see if they're missing anything or if there's a bill to reconcile. Your immunization, so if you're an on-campus student, you're going to have to submit these immunizations. And just something to keep in your back of your mind, if they give you some time, if there's a delay, but within the next session, if we do not have that on file, we will be contacting you, and there's a chance you could get administratively withdrawn. So we will let you know that. But if you're online, you do not need an immunization. Order your books. Again, you can find this at either at the bookstore, calling, or going online, or look at your syllabus. If you are taking classes on campus, you're going to want to get your student ID and a parking pass. Check your BayPath Gmail. You have the ability to download it to your phone. And again, a lot of important communication comes to this email, so you definitely want to be checking it and getting in that habit. And schedule an appointment with your advisor. You can find that information on, Diane's going to show you where to find it, but schedule an appointment so you can kind of figure out your career path and a graduation plan. And one thing I just want to mention with the student IDs is that if you are an online student, this will be getting mailed to you. If you have a hold message, don't panic and don't not participate on your classes. Just call Student Financial Services. This is the number. Usually it's something simple, maybe some missing document or something like that. So don't panic. It's something that can be resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially if you're an online student, you may see a hold message, but even though you see it, it by no means keeps you from participating. So as Shirley said, please make sure to participate. It doesn't prevent you from it. And then when you have the opportunity to call the class, the Student Financial Services, please do that. But always jump into that classroom ahead of time, because it kind of goes back to the attendance policy. Yeah, so I know, remember me, this is that attendance policy. It is just so important because we know you've made such a commitment to come, and we don't want there to be a miscommunication or a misunderstanding that would keep you from attending the classes. So again, if you're attending online, you have to participate prior to the first day of class, or the first day of class, which is on a Thursday. And if you're going online, what do they have to do?
Well, on campus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. If they're going on campus, yeah.
So that's Saturday. You just have to, that first Saturday, you have to be there and have to have your pre-assignment. Yep. So just make sure you're there and you got your work.
All right. Excellent.
So frequently asked questions. So I'm sure you have many, many, many questions. So there's actually a student resource guide, and there's a link right here. If you are an on-campus student, you'll be coming to the orientation on campus, and this will be given to you. But you can access that resource guide electronically, and a lot of the frequently asked questions will be found there. Any advising questions related to your schedule, your degree audit, can all be directed to your academic advisor or educator coach. Again, it's the same title. You can find this person on the portal, on your degree audit, and on your schedule. And you can email them or call. Any financial aid or billing questions, just call Student Financial Services, and again, this is the number. And then for a student ID and parking pass, this information will either be emailed to you or mailed to you, or if you're coming in person to an orientation, we'll let you know what to do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's basically it. And remember that this is just step one. This is a preliminary video to get you started because we know we're going to see you either at an on ground orientation or we'll be speaking to you through an online orientation. But we want to make sure that you have some questions that you may have answered through this, hopefully. You have some places that you can start exploring and get yourself started. So we both want to thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you and welcome to
Welcome,
BPath.
definitely. So we will be seeing you down the road. Have a great day.